for math, and the learning target is I can read and write 3-digit numbers in expanded and standard form. So I noticed that there are 2 words here that I boxed. So expanded and standard. So let's take a look at the word expanded. So the word expanded means stretched out. Like when you expand something, think about a slinky. Put a slinky in your head. When you take a slinky and you stretch it, you're expanding it. So we're gonna say that expanded is when we stretch out. We're gonna say stretch. We're gonna stretch it out. We see the root word here, expand, when you expand something. Now let's look at the word standard. So standard, when we talk about the word standard, we're gonna talk about numbers. And I'm gonna teach you in the lesson what standard form is. So let's just review some vocabulary from yesterday's lesson. So we have hundreds. Hundreds is the flat. So this is what the hundreds look like. It's the flat one, which is worth 100. And tens, which would be the long ones, the base 10 blocks, the long ones, this is what it looks like, and it's worth 10. And then we have the ones. The ones is the cubes, the little cubes, and that is worth 1. So these are different place values that we've been learning about: hundreds, tens, ones. So now for today's lesson, let's take a look at this 3-digit number, because I know it says in the learning target, I can read and write 3-digit numbers, and we're going to do expanded form and standard form. So I'm going to show you with a number. Let's write the number 417. So we have the number 417. So I wrote this number in its standard form. So we already know that this number is standard form. When we talk about standard form, standard means the numbers. Exactly what it looks like, that's standard form. When you just write numbers, just like this, it's called standard form. So we already wrote it in its standard form. Now looking back to our learning target, it also says expanded form. So let's go ahead and write this number in expanded form. So the number is 417. So let's look at each place value. So when we are going to write the number in expanded form, we have to look at each place value. That's what it means, because we're expanding the number, we're stretching it out. Remember, just like a slinky, we're gonna stretch it out. So let's look at the first place value. So I know that this place value right here, this is my hundreds place. So right here, I'm gonna put an H for hundreds, right? And I'm gonna write the value of the number 4 in the hundreds place. So I know that this is worth 100. So I see the number 4. So that means it's going to be 400. So now that I wrote the value of the hundreds place, I'm going to move on to the tens place. So this is tens. So the tens, now let's look. I see there's a number 1 in the tens place. So I need to know what the value of this number is in the tens place. So I know that it's only 110. So I would then write plus, can't forget the plus sign because we're expanding this number. So far we have 400 plus, and we have a 1. 110 is 10 plus. Now we're moving on to the ones place. 0 for the ones. So I know I see a 7 in the ones place. So that means the place value for ones is 7, because it's 7 ones. So I have 400 plus 10 plus 7. And if I was to add up all these three numbers, it would equal to 417. So 400 plus 10 plus 7 would be 417. So I just expanded this number for you. I showed you every single value of each number and its place value. So that is expanded form. And boys and girls, when you're doing expanded form, you have to remember to write those pluses. So this is expanded form. And also, if it helps, you can go ahead and draw the pictures of the base 10 blocks. So I know this is 400. So here I know that my 100 is a flat. That's what my 100 is. So I would go ahead and draw 4 of these because I know each of these is worth 100. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I just trying to draw it the best I can. So each of these are worth 100 and I know it's 4 of them, so that's 400 right there. Now moving on to the tens place, I know that the tens is the base 10 block and I know I only need 1 because looking back at my number in standard form, it's a 1, so that's 110. There's only 110 here. So right here, I would just draw 1. Remember, this is worth 10. And now I know that in my standard form, in the ones place, it's a 7. And I know that the ones is represented by these cubes. So one of these is 1. So I will draw 7 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there you have it, boys and girls. Our expanded form